Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are going bold, absolutely going bold today. You can find us on goingboldmedia.com. And we are on the Link to Experts Goodreads Authors Corner. I am Cece Schatz, one of your hosts. I am the doyenne of relationship building. I have my good friend Joanne here. Joanne.
Hi, Joanne Weiland, When You Can Fly. I'm the founder of the Collaborative Cloud Community, LinktoEXPERT.com, and we're so glad you joined us today to hear from Cathy Davis and Jennifer Bardot. So thanks for joining.
Yeah, we have a wonderful show here today, and I cannot wait to bring it forward. We're going to talk about the Grit series, 5 books. You can purchase them on Amazon. We're going to be talking about, really, truly, I think, bringing these ladies forward in the publishing industry. And so we're going to be talking about that, really how you can, put it together. How can you make a book? How can you market the book? How can you be successful? But at the end of the day, how can you have peace with that? So I think that's really an important thing. So let's go over our guests today, because I want to make sure that we share them with you appropriately. We have Cathy Davis. Cathy Davis, she is with Davis Creative Publishing, a division, is now sought after industry leader. She's helped over 1,500 authors and become published authors, and she's helped over 500 authors become Amazon bestsellers. And I wanted to put up her website information right away. It's daviscreativepublishing.com. And then, of course, we have Jennifer Bardot MA, MS, an author, and you're really responsible for these Grit series. Am I correct on that?
Yes. I've curated them, and then I hired Davis Creative, Cathy Davis, to help guide me through the whole process 5 times. So.
Oh, that's great. And then your email is OwnYourGrit. So everyone has that information. It's own, OWN, your, YOUR, grit, GRIT @gmail.com. So ladies, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about, the putting together the book and how you started your journey. And Jennifer, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So actually, Cathy and I were in a mastermind together, and I had seen her work, and she was very much in the space of supporting women with helping them amplify their voices and their messaging. And we had similar visions and similar, alignment in regards to our purpose. So when I had this idea during COVID of bringing 40 women together to share their stories of grit, which I defined as growth, resilience, intention, and tenacity, I knew right who to go to. So I reached out to Cathy, and she made that process really seamless. And I pulled together 40 contributing authors with, at the time, I had a co-curator, which her name was Carrie Bergraff. So her and I brought Owning Your Grit to the world. And then pretty much on the anniversary of Owning Your Grit, 1-year anniversary, I went back to Cathy and said, I have another idea. I want to build out which we called a collection. I was kind of toying with the whole concept of deconstructing grit, and I didn't know if I wanted to call it a series or a collection, but Cathy's been an amazing partner to just use as we go back and forth as sounding boards to articulate the message and what I had envisioned. She helps bring it to life. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So now we're on book number 5, which is launching November 1st.
Well, I can see how that would be possible. Cathy's mission is always to find your voice, share your wisdom, and make a difference. And that's right in line with your grit.
It's absolutely in alignment, because the whole concept of grit, and the reason why I focus primarily on having women in these anthologies, is because during COVID, I was supporting so many women-owned businesses, and I was just hearing their struggles and their hardships. And I thought to myself, these women are strong and they are struggling. What about those that don't have a voice or have lost their voice? if they can step into the lives of these women and see themselves in these stories, we're going to create change and we're going to create hope. So that was the journey of creating hope from hardship. And it's unfolded to supporting over 207 women sharing their story within this Deconstructing Grit collection. So it's been really powerful. Now it's called a movement. So it's been a really powerful movement. And it's been a blessing just to sit back and witness these women choosing to go on this journey, because once they say yes to me, I then introduce them to the Davis creative team. They take them through the entire writing process, and you see their transformation from that process, from that intensive journaling is how I've just described it. But it's phenomenal, and there's so much growth and change that has been generated pretty rapidly, because we've been churning these out every 5 months. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And you have over 1,000 members now in your women's group, right?
Yes. Yeah. So also during COVID, I started a women's group, and it's slowly evolved to a community that supports almost 1,000 women in our St. Louis and surrounding areas, because a lot of the resources that I provide are also virtual, so anybody can access them. So it's become more of a global resource that rather than just St. Louis, which is pretty cool to see. But it's been phenomenal, because obviously in our community, you hear about loneliness being an epidemic. And I've been really mindful of making our world feel small and bringing community together in real connections, which creates real change and real support. So.
Oh, we appreciate you and Cathy working together on this, because I really agree. I mean, they really did lose hope during, especially the pandemic, and even a sense of community. And I think we all need to feel connected and, part of something bigger than us. And then we can be part of it, though, to make it even better.
Yeah.
I know Jennifer and I have talked several times about how we have women that step into writing a chapter, and they'll say, well, what do I have to say that anybody wants to hear? Or, not realizing that their voice does matter. And by the time they walk through the entire process, we've had women start businesses. We've had women quit their jobs. We've had women start nonprofits. I mean, it's been amazing to see
I love it.
The personal transformation that happens.
It's really, really so beautiful to learn about it and hear about it. And because I have been blessed to know both of you before, and I was just even in one of your workshops, and what happens after the launch, I think we called it, or you called it, beyond the launch. And it really is so important for everybody. I think a lot of times when you have your own story, you don't think it's important to anybody else, because you lived it. So to you, it's like, who cares? Big deal. But it really is encouraging for so many others. And it's so important that we do share these things, especially as women, men too. But I really think that, it really helps us get stronger.
Absolutely. One of the quotes that I live by is, every time we share our story, we do get stronger, because more of us heals. So I think it's really important for us to do that self-reflection work, because we can identify those hardships and actually call them out. And then by calling them out, we can start healing ourselves along that journey. So it is, it's powerful. And I can just tell you, I mean, Cathy, the woman I was, 2 years ago is totally different than the woman I am today. I've slowly evolved by healing myself with each of these anthology, because not only do I curate them, but I author a chapter in each of the books, because I feel as though as a leader, you have to do the work if you're asking others to do that as well. So
exactly.
I'm so lucky, because Cathy's actually going to be contributing in Tenacity. So you can read Cathy's chapter in Tenacity as well.
I actually, I got brave, and I decided I need to see this from the inside out. Yay. So I wrote my first chapter and got to witness my own people in their process. So it was
good. I've actually been part of 3 of Cathy's anthologies. One of them was Engaging Experts. And what we did with that afterwards, we even created a magazine, a digital magazine, Engage with Experts. And we send it to 317,000 people. And it has many of our authors' stories in there. So we just thought we needed another way to share the stories. So I'm really excited about what you guys are doing together too. And Cathy and I have done so many collaborative projects together, press releases and newsletters and, email blasts and you name it. But it is really exciting when we all work together and collaborate, because nobody knows 300 is, nobody that I know, knows 360,000. It's all about collaborating and everybody sending it to their people too.
That's
Well, and it
incredible.
gives us all a chance to, as we say, we step up, we speak up, and we lift up. It gives us that chance to help others, extend a hand and lift others up.
Yes, good point.
Mhm.
Very.
Absolutely. Well, I love so much that, we titled the show today, Confidence, Community, and Credibility. And I think that's so, so spot on with you ladies, because not only had you find your own confidence to be able to move forward and do what you do, but you're sharing that with others. You're embracing others as they travel through in their lives, and really embracing themselves through a community, which is very important. I think as we grow individually, we need to find other like-minded individuals that are experiencing what we're experiencing, so that we can bond together to be able to move forward. And then, publishing the books and bringing it forward certainly shows your credibility and the hard work and effort to be able to launch that into such a big, huge project, because not only do you have one book, but now you have 5 books. So, I mean, it's going on, it's continuing, which is, kudos to you for doing that. So that's wonderful. And I know before we had started the show, you had actually, Jennifer mentioned that you saw, walking through Walmart, you saw your book. So share that with us. I think that's a pretty thrilling experience.
Yes. So when we launched Owning Your Grit, we were coming out of COVID. It was April 2021. And the reason why we had picked that date is because we really wanted it to be accessible for women on Mother's Day, because I really wanted to dedicate that book to my mom, because part of my journey is I didn't have the confidence that I have now. My mom had that confidence, and I utilized her backbone until I could find my own way. So it was really a tribute to my mom. And I remember launching that book, and obviously it was very much a grassroots effort, because I had never published a book. I had never curated a book. I'd never done any of that stuff, but I had an expert in my corner to help guide me through to make it seamless. And we ended up achieving international bestseller in 8 countries. And that was just like astounding, mind-boggling. And I remember Cathy saying, well, just wait. If the metrics are right, you're going to start seeing some activity. And I remember just randomly like Googling my book to send a link on Amazon to a friend. And it had popped up that it was in Target. Next thing I know, it's in Walmart. It's in Barnes and Noble. I'm getting asked to have copies sold from Kentucky, which I had never even met these people before. And they bought 500 copies of Owning Your Grit for a leadership conference. And it was mind-boggling, because I didn't even share my whole story in that book, but I have dyslexia. So writing a book is really challenging. And to think that someone would want to read my book, I was just like, this is profound. But it was just because everybody who participated in those anthologies, those 40 women, they shared their truth, they shared their story, and they were real and genuine. And that's inspiring, especially when you can see leaders and them exposing the hardships, because, life's not always an uphill battle. It's very much the ebbs and flows. So it's powerful. And that brought a lot of confidence, because I was sitting there thinking, how could little old me have achieved something like this? And how did these people trust me to be able to execute? And I think that journey, well, essentially that was the journey that gave me the confidence to then reach out to Cathy and say, okay, bigger vision, let's go big or go home. And once again, if it wasn't for Cathy, I probably would have tried to do these even quicker, because I remember calling her. I said, let's get them all done in a year. Let's do a book every 3 months. And she goes, Jen, slow down. Let's try doing a book every 5 months. And we did that. And it's been powerful, because there's been so much diversity in thought and diversity in perspective. And I think we've really been able to wrap our arms around the world and at least have one story within this collection that's going to save a life, change a life, or help somebody. So.
Yeah, that's tremendous. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Well, let's talk a little bit about the books themselves. So do you have like a particular theme for each book?
Yeah, so each book actually has a cover of a pair of shoes because I really feel as though that's when you get to step into the lives of these women and understand more of their reality. So I pick a shoe that represents the word on the cover. So the first one, yeah, so that's Intention. That was the book that we launched in July, and it's a pair of boating shoes. And we picked Sperry's because you're the captain of your life. But if you don't have that beacon in regards to where your final destination is going, you're never going to get there. So you have to chart that course and you have to be very intentional about it. And it's all about strategic thinking, focus, and positive mindset. And then there's Growth. I picked a pair of, they're almost like a felt type of material or a velour, but it's a beautiful heel with a little pink, like a little bow. And then that red heart is actually on the heel of the shoe. And Cathy and I went to the store and we looked at all these different shoes and we finally found those. And that was just the shoe that represent growth, because in the very beginning, when you're starting to grow, everything feels kind of perfect, and then once you step in it, it starts to get a little bit harder. And we picked a really tough booty for resilience. And it's like a leather distorted booty. And I actually have that book over here. I'll show you. But so it's more of a cowboy boot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's all about getting up and just
we're picking stuff with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, but continuing on and having that commitment and that persistence and knowing your purpose. And then tenacity is the one that's going out next. And we picked a pair of cheetah booties as well, because when you're a cheetah, you're in total alignment and you're just moving because you're unstoppable. And then for the first one, since it was a collection of all the words, we have all the different shoes. So yeah, but
wonderful.
So we pick shoes.
Oh, and the concept behind the shoes, I remember as we were writing that back cover copy, I'm going, how am I going to connect all this together? And then boom, Jen and I were brainstorming, and it was, we walk in the footsteps of those who have gone before us.
Yes.
And it's that whole concept again of, as you step forward, you lift up behind you. And so we set the footsteps that other can follow. And then we follow others who have gone before us too.
Yeah. I always love your creativity, Cathy.
Yes. And I love that because we're getting ready to start a youth grit program for adolescent girls from 9th to 12th grade. So it's very much that same concept. So they're seeing all of us sharing our stories, and then they can utilize our path as, potentially their path as well, or decide to create their own path, but at least utilize our stories to help propel them in the future. So
I see a new collection coming with younger women.
Yep. And Jen, you've done such a great job of promoting beyond the launch. Mm-hmm. And I know one really good example is you'll create panels. So we have, can you tell us a little bit about those panels that you developed?
Yeah,
let's do our quick break. When we come back, let's talk about that, because I think that's important, that the audience definitely needs to be able to take in and take advantage of that. So before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody knows we have Jennifer here with us, and we are going to share her email, which is OwnYourGrit@gmail.com. That's OWN, your grit, GRIT @gmail.com. And then, of course, we have the unstoppable, absolutely, Cathy Davis here. And Cathy is Cathy with a C. It's CATHY @daviscreativepublishing.com. And her website is Davis, DAVIS, Creative, CREATIVE, Publishing, PUBLISHING.com. So we want to make sure you guys know how to get a hold of them. Of course, I guess now I say go to Amazon and buy the books, but now you can go anywhere. You can go to Target, you can go to Walmart, you can go anywhere and get the series, the Grit series, GRIT series. So make sure you guys do that. So we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about everything, so you don't want to miss it. I mean, and if you missed the first part of the show, not to worry, we're going to have a rebroadcast for you, so you can catch that. But we want to make sure that you stick around for the next part, because it's something you definitely need to listen to. So you guys are listening to Link to Expert Good Reads Author's Corner. I am Cece Schatz, And I have my good friend Joanne Weiland with me, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are live here with the authors, and I want to let you know that we're on LinktoEXPERT Goodreads Authors Corner. I am Cece Schatz, one of the hosts. I have my good friend Joanne here with me. Joanne?
Joanne Weiland, LinktoEXPERT, and I created the collaborative cloud community, LinktoEXPERT.com, and we invite you to come and find an expert in minutes or be found as an expert in minutes.
Absolutely. So today we have a wonderful, this show, if you guys didn't hear the first part of it, you're going to have to go back and listen. But we're talking about confidence, community, and credibility with two wonderful authors here. We have Cathy Davis. Cathy Davis is with Davis Creative Publishing Division. She's very sought after publisher, and she's helped over 1,500 authors become published authors, and over 500 authors have actually become Amazon bestsellers. And so we are very proud to have her on the show here with us today. We have Jennifer Bardot. She's an author with the Grit series. It's called GRIT series. Wonderful series, 5 books. The next one's going to be coming out here soon, and you can find them everywhere. You can find them all over Target, Walmart, Amazon, wherever you want to buy a book, that it's there. So not to worry. So let's talk a little bit more. What we talked about the first part of the show, we really kind of covered your reason why you are doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so now we're going to talk a little bit more about the mechanics of it. So share with us, as we broke off the show, there was a section you wanted to talk about. So let's go and move into that.
Yeah. So with each of these books, I curate them by having conversations with women who have actually gone through challenging times and want to share their truth. So they have to have something that's relating to growth, resilience, intention, and tenacity. And it can be personal or professional. So for example, the story that I share in Owning Your Grit was about how I hadn't found my voice at the time, but I just started testing out how to advocate for myself. And I was a first generation college student, and I completed my bachelor's degree, but I went on to get my master's degree. And before getting accepted into that program, I was going through the interview process. And I remember driving up to go through the interview process, and I was super excited and prepared for this for almost 8 months, because you have to take all of the application tests beforehand, and I had been invited to the interviews. So I get there to realize that they had given me the wrong start time. So I had 2 options: to either turn back around from my 3-hour drive there and reapply for the next year, or just go straight to the door where the professors were making their decisions and knock on that door till somebody answered. And that's what I chose to do. So I share that story because I had to have grit in that moment to be able to change my destiny, because I wasn't willing to wait a whole nother year to start graduate school. I knew that was a program that I wanted to be in. That was a school that I wanted to participate in. So I made sure that they knew that was their mistake of giving me the wrong start time. And I was able to then be interviewed by all 5 professors at the same time to then leave, securing my seat in the graduate program, as well as securing a seat in a graduate professional study, which then paid for 2 of my master's degrees. So I love hearing those kind of stories because it's inspiring to others and it gives them new perspective. So that's kind of the premise of these books. And each of my stories is different because I've gone through a lot of different challenges in my journey. But it's incredible for these women to feel as though this is a trusting environment for them to share their stories, for them to grow, and for them to share their truth with their friends that may never even known that about them before. So
I think it's beautiful. I truly do. I can see why the books are so successful. So, I mean, really, I mean, a lot of it, you just kind of gut it up, right? You know, I used to say, just gut it up and make it happen. And that's what us women tend to do. And so it's nice to be able to share that with the world, to let them know that, you had a choice. You could either, stick your head between your knees and try to pass the time away, or you could, like you said, find your grit and move forward and do something that could really change your life. And so it makes a huge difference. So that's awesome. And then Cathy, you've just this whole publishing company that you've created, helping
Since
others
2008.
get their voice out. I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, you've taken, it sounds like you've kind of taken Jennifer under your wing and helped her, get through this process of publishing and all of that, and spurred a little bit of creativity along, sprinkled it like dust, I think, along the way.
Magic fairy dust, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, pixie dust. Fairy dust.
Absolutely. So,
Well, Jennifer and I have a very similar mission, and part of my personal mission has been to help women find their voice. I think, Joanne, you mentioned that earlier. When you visit our website, it's Find Your Voice, Share Your Wisdom, and Make a Difference. And Jennifer has definitely created a platform for these women to step up and speak up that they may never have even thought about doing before. But especially coming out of the pandemic, I think the timing was perfect for Jennifer's series of books, where women were really looking for a way to, Jennifer's series offered them a sense of hope, but then they also said, okay, I'm left on this planet. I survived a pandemic. Now what am I going to do? And I think that energy just spurred, and Jennifer has offered so many opportunities through additional marketing beyond the launch, from programs with panels and giving these women additional opportunities beyond just being in the book.
Right.
I'm big on trying to find different ways to amplify their voices, because I think it's incredible that they've done the work and put their story in writing and became a published author, but to then turn it into an Audible, to then interview them in a talk show, to then find a place or a panel where it really makes sense and it's meaningful for them to share their story with an audience that can relate. So if it's a university that they graduated from, or if it's an industry that they serve in, I've been really intentional about recruiting authors to continue to build, to continue that momentum, and to continue to learn how to self-promote. It seems like as women, we generally don't know how to toot our own horn. So I love being that cheerleader for all of the authors, and I try to just continue to do that. So.
Well, and your reputation is such with Jennifer that if she invites you into her circle, you better fasten your seatbelt, because she's going to find something for you to do to expand your box. And it's contagious. There was such a rush to be in this last book that all the other books had 40 or 42 at the most, I think. And this particular one has 47, because people were trying to get in at the last minute. And we'd say, okay, one more. Okay, one more. But now we're at the deadline. We really can't take any more on this one.
Well, there'll be the next one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been brainstorming. I think we're going to do gritty entrepreneurs, gritty parents, and I'm excited.
Oh, I love it.
There's lots to come.
Yeah, great idea.
You have to have an even number for sure. Can't quit on an odd. So yeah, for sure. Well, I think it's amazing, because I think, one thing has shown us during COVID, when we had that quiet time, that we, that still time, that we have many people that have done something amazing with that, creative wise. And you've definitely done that. You've taken an idea and it's just shaped it and grown, and you've shared it with other people that have actually been able to come on board, and it's helped them. So many of these women, I think, that have been in the book, not only are they sharing their story, helping other people, but it's also elevating them into greatness. And like you said, I think, Cathy, that a lot of the individuals have gone on to start their own businesses. They've created different platforms for themselves, and it's just amazing, that given just a little bit of that fairy dust and a little bit of that, confidence and that believability that we share with other people allows them to be able to step forward and do something really terrific. So is there anything with regards to marketing that you would say that stands out above what what normal marketing procedures do in publishing? Have you done anything that might stand out that's a little bit different?
Well, Cathy's utilized Linktree, which I really think is a cool way to feature all of the authors in their bio in regards to connecting outside of once it's published. But we've been really creative just to really get all of the women together and rally that energy to continue that momentum. Because with the last book launch for Intention, we had hit bestseller in the first 2 hours of the launch. But I put together a massive text message, and we do updates throughout the entire promotion launch, and we continue to harness that positive energy through virtual videos, through text messages, through sharing our memes that are created through Davis Creative. And we were able to secure, I think it was 5 countries is what we ended up closing. Or was it 6 countries, Cathy?
I think 6.
It was 6, yeah. But I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, because when these women go through this journey of publishing and putting themselves out there, sometimes they kind of turtle in, is how I call it, because they're vulnerable and they feel exposed, and then they're accessible for judgment. So just trying to support them in that journey of really being that cheerleader and showing them the impact that their stories are going to make, and just having that good positive energy around them. I think that's our differentiator. And then we also do a rally call after the launch too, to really go over what those numbers mean. And I remember we outperformed Paris Hilton's memoir, which I was like, woo, we have to share that. So we share little pictures of our, accolades throughout the book launch, which is really exciting. Whenever we get a new category. So I think that's something different. And again, I've only gone through these launches. So
no, I've gone through them too. And Davis Creative Publishing is amazing, the way they make it really an experience. And I was blessed to be part of 3 of them too. And it really does make a huge difference to have that enthusiasm, that momentum, keep going and, encouraging each other. And, they encouraged us to even get to know each other. So often, we would call each other and get to know each other, have one-on-ones. And yeah, so congratulations, Cathy, for really creating a real community there.
Yeah, we do that too. We still do the lunch and learns, and we get to know, we share a little bit about our story, a little bit about who we are. And then I always host an in-person, after the book launch, about a month after when our hard copies have come in, I host an in-person book launch just exclusively for the authors, because then they've read the stories, but then the stories come to life with the person. So it's pretty cool.
Right.
It's always fun at those to ask the authors to bring their book, because then you ask them to go around and have each other sign your chapter in each other's books. And then it's also another way, there's a lot of business that's done in this type of environment, and creating connections and becoming referral partners for future business. That it's really helped a lot of women solidify their role in the office, as well as take that leap of faith and maybe jump ship and go do something on their own. So it's fun to watch.
It is. I mean, it's very exciting.
Very good.
Congratulations to
Now,
both of you.
if the listeners out there, if they're listening and they say, I'd love to be in a book like this, who do they contact? Do they contact you, Jennifer, or you, Cathy? Which would they contact?
They could probably start with me. And if I see that it's a good fit for Jennifer, and when she's brave enough to do her next book, then that's definitely where I would send them. Yeah.
Unless it's something about grit, just go straight to me. But
Yeah.
I think the best route would be definitely talk to Cathy, because she has a bunch of different books that she works on while working on mine as well. So she might find a better fit for whatever message they're trying to share with the world.
Then she can determine, which category is what I would call it would fit, because that's what she's done with me. I mean, she's recommended so many people and recommend.
Oh yeah.
A lot of
Well,
people with her.
for example, we have one now that's just dads. Dads that are creating a legacy, and that book will be all men, just talking about either being a dad or having had a dad or their role as a dad. So,
Oh, neat.
yeah.
That's very interesting. So again, you just want to contact Cathy with a C, Cathy at daviscreativepublishing.com. So if you're interested in writing a book, maybe you're not even quite sure exactly what you want to write about, but you are interested in writing a book, maybe talk to Cathy and she can sprinkle some of that fairy dust on you and that creative dust, and you guys can put your heads together and come up with something that might very well be not only maybe a collaborative, but maybe it's just a single book too. You never know. I mean, it's you could definitely do a lot of different things here, and so why not? Why don't put yourself in a box, right? Think out of the box. I think Jennifer, I've got a feeling that is your motto.
I'm totally an out-of-box thinker. I now embrace that, and I think that is because I have a neurodivergent brain, so I'm constantly creating. And but now I've learned to hold on to those ideas and bring them to fruition. So
very good, very good.
One of the things I was thinking, Cathy, a lot of people, I think, would like to hear like a little bit of a summary of what the process is when you are writing a book, so that they would have a better idea what's expected.
From a solo book perspective?
Yes.
Yeah. And occasionally we'll have women that have been in one of Jennifer's books that then come to us for their solo book. It's kind of like they go, oh, I completed one chapter. Now I just need to multiply it times 10 or 12 and I can do this. And we pair them no matter where they are in the process, whether they need help writing it or if they've already written it and just need a proofreader. We pair them with members of our team to help them finish it. And whether it's editing, proofreading, designing the cover, designing the interiors, marketing at the other end. We ourselves do not do the marketing, but we have vendors and affiliates that we work with that we bring in. If it's anything Amazon related, we have specific experts in that. If somebody wants to be on the Today Show, we have a woman in Seattle that can get them on that Today Show. But it's pretty much a pay-to-play arena when it comes to marketing. And for a certain price, depending on your budget, we can find someone to make it happen for you.
Sounds great.
Right. And speaking of that, we have a free gift today from you, Cathy.
That up.
We do. One of the things I decided to go ahead and share our secret sauce formula, which is that back cover copy template that we used for Jennifer that we noticed started getting all kinds of attention by the book buyers, be it individual book buyers in a retail store or by the book buyers that are buying for the store. And we've made that available as a free download at daviscreativepublishing.com/secret sauce. And that'll be up for quite a while and anybody can get it. We'll keep it evergreen so that whoever's listening can access that.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's really not, I can just tell you from working with Cathy, they help you every step of the way and they keep you accountable and they also keep you informed of what steps are next. So I feel like it makes it so much easier to be a published author when you work with somebody like Cathy Davis.
And I would agree. And I think another benefit, because I've had a lot of conversations, right, with publishers, I would see one of the unique offerings that Cathy does is she's very flexible to work with. If you have a vision, she's willing to, maybe it won't fit in the box that she's built, but she'll build a box for it to fit in. So she's very flexible. And I think that's amazing. And I've witnessed her obviously help me with these anthologies, but like she said, I saw her help others lead anthologies, and I've seen her help others write their own books as well. So very diverse in regards to the whole gamut. She can do it all. So
well, thank you. I'm going to steal that phrase.
Chewy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chewy's. I closed my office door, so in case somebody ran by. Chewy's our little marketing director for and it's about that time. We have a park at the end of the block where lots of dog walkers go by. So he's on guard at the front of the house. Yeah.
No, but it's true. And also, if you have an idea for an anthology, call Cathy, because, just like Jen did, and who knows, it might be the next,
your next new enterprise could start with your very first book. Yes.
Right.
I went all in as of August the 2nd, and I've turned grit into a business. So never in a million years would I have thought I'd be writing books, let alone having the books be the content of my.
And then you were on the cover of the St. Louis.
Small Business Monthly. I made the cover of St. Louis Small Business Monthly. Yes, and just the accolades and the opportunities that have come from this experience is incredible. So
it really is.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I wish you ladies all the very luck in the world, but I don't think you need it. I think you guys are you're going all the way. And I think this is really terrific. And you're bringing many, many people with you. So that's wonderful. We have to probably close out the show. It's going by very quickly, but I would like to give you one last opportunity to share any words that you would like to. So should we start with you, Jennifer?
Yeah, I would just say if you have an opportunity where you're being tugged and you need to grow, listen to that and follow it, because it's helping you define who you are and your purpose.
Wonderful. And again, you can reach her at ownyourgrit@gmail.com. And then Cathy?
If you're curious about how to find your voice and would like a couple breadcrumbs to follow, we'd be more than happy to share our breadcrumbs with you and help you figure out what it is that you really want to say and really want to talk about.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, Cathy, again, her email is Cathy with a C, CATHY @daviscreativepublishing.com. Her website is the same, daviscreativepublishing.com. I want to also share that you also do on the website there, Cathy you do an inspiring authors conversation. So she has many events that you do. And so you can find those events if you just go on the website. Various different times, different individuals that are on there. So definitely check that out. And then again, we want to make sure that you get that free gift because it's absolutely free. So take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. It's Secret Sauce back cover copy template. And I tell you, this is quite unique because I know that I was looking at doing a book, little ebook type of thing. And I was searching for all this kind of stuff, so it's nice to have it. So go in and get it. So it's the Secret Sauce back cover copy template. You just go to daviscreativepublishing.com /secret/sauce, but it's on the website. So daviscreativepublishing.com. So take advantage of that. We'd like for you to do that. Let her know, both Jennifer and Cathy, that you heard her here today on the Goodreads, LinktoEXPERT Goodreads Authors Corner. And thank you, ladies, so much for being with us today. We are so very pleased to have you.
And remember, collaborating is simple, easy, prosperous, and fun. Cathy and I do it all the time, and Cece, you do too. So, and I know now Jennifer does, so it really is true. So have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you, everyone. Join us next